Donald Trump can't squirm his way away from the Epstein scandal because he's in the thick of it. Because when he was running around with two of his best friends named Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, while they were maybe leading a secret life of being child sex traffickers, or maybe not, Donald Trump was pretty close to the edge in conduct. And there is reporting coming from Julie K. Brown, who broke the story of the Epstein scandal and helped put him in jail. From her reporter's perch for the Miami Herald, should have won the Pulitzer Prize. She's on Court of History. And she talks about how, for instance, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein exploited the modeling industry, including fake modeling shows, fake modeling meetings in order to meet young models, young girls. Okay? And there's even, and it's a little reported, there's not only a lawsuit that came out of that phony modeling, let's meet girls thing, but there's even somebody that hanged themselves. And we cover it all with Julie K. Brown joins Sean Wilentz and Sidney Blumenthal on Court of History, only on Legal AF. And here's a clip.
One of the most interesting articles that I read of yours from this period was about your investigation of the model industry and Epstein and overlap with Trump, who had a major interest in the model industry, and they had a mutual interest.
Right. Well, there was that came out as part of the discovery in one of the lawsuits. Brad Edwards, who represented a number of victims, deposed Epstein had a company, a modeling company, and Brad Edwards deposed the accountant who worked for that company, worked for Epstein's company, modeling company. And in that deposition, she provided a lot of detail about what he was doing. And it's clear that he was using that company, a modeling company, as a cover, in part for the sex trafficking that he was doing, because she was describing exactly what they would do. They would send the younger girls down to Epstein's place in Palm Beach. And she just gave more detail than we had before, including the fact that when Epstein formed that company, he said to her, I want it to be set up just like Donald Trump's modeling agency. So what that
and
means.
That's in that record that she testified to that under oath.
Right.
That Epstein said that he wanted to model his modeling company that he would invest in on Trump's. That's right.
And, so, I mean, we don't know what that means, whether that, we can't say that means that Trump's modeling agency was trafficking, but we do know that in some respects, Epstein's modeling company was used in part to recruit young girls from all over the world and send them to events and parties where ostensibly they would be expected to have sex with some of the, party goers.
Yeah, there are parties that are described of other people who organized models with both Trump and Epstein present. There's one that was described where they're the only two guests for 25 some young models.
Right. Epstein and Trump.
Yeah. Jean-Luc Brunel from Paris headed Epstein's company, and he was arrested for rape and for sexual assault and hanged himself after Epstein's death.
Right.
The two were business partners.
Yeah, they were business partners and
close associates.
Well, not only that, but Brunel was one of his top recruiters. And I'm not just talking models. I'm talking about girls and young women for sex. I mean, that's what he did. because they would make these promises to these women when they met them. We're going to get you into the modeling business. You're going to make lots and lots of money. I have a very wealthy person. He has all the contacts, et cetera. And that's how they kind of, Epstein also had a lawyer working for him. The bookkeeper told us about this, or told, Brad Edwards about this, is that they had lawyers that were helping the women from overseas get visas so that they came here for those reasons. So it was
very common at the time of HB1 or H1B visas. Trump's modeling agency depended upon those visas to bring over models, mostly from Eastern Europe, for his agents.
This is specialty.
Yeah, so it's interesting given his current views on immigration, to say the least. But you are on the case here. You're exposing this as this is going on, bringing it up all again, reporting.
Right. Yeah. Even after Epstein's death, I continue to report the trail of people that helped him, including members of the government of the U.S. Virgin Islands. He employed the governor's wife there. He tossed around a lot of money to a lot of people. Remember, he was a convicted sex predator, so he was supposed to be monitored by the U.S. Marshal Service, and he just wasn't monitored at all.
This is all around the island, Little St. James, that he was doing. Is that where it all got connected? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's a remote island. You can only get there by boat or plane. So it was the perfect locale for him to have some of these sex parties, so to speak, or to entertain his clients and offer them food, wine, and a young girl if they wanted it.
Welcome back. We are exposing the depraved conduct and behavior, not of just Epstein and Maxwell, but of Donald Trump as well, as he also commits the crime of cover-up. And we do it by bringing you newsmakers like Julie K. Brown. Already on this show, we've had, just in the last few months, we've had Senators Booker and Blumenthal, Representative Raskin and Torres, former judges like Michael Ludig. We've had Michael Wolff, who's a historian and author and was going to be the biographer of Jeffrey Epstein. Julie K. Brown, who you just heard from. We've had historians, former judges, state and federal, all because sometimes beyond the commentary, you need to hear from the newsmakers. You need to hear from the people that are in the trenches or have the actual legacy knowledge. And we do it for you here on Legal AF. All we ask in return, we don't have a paywall. We don't have outside investors. We just need your finger to hit the subscribe button. If we just got 10% of the people that watch our videos to hit the subscribe button, we'd be rolling in clover, as my grandmother said. But that's all we ask. So hit the subscribe button. Until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.